Check, check, check.
Focus on the yellow tight one.
Or just wide. Check, 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 1, 2, check, 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 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Second mic. Okay, here's the other one. You want me to merge them here, I think? Hang on. Is it all mono? Okay, cool. Check, check, 1, 2.
Yeah, we're gonna get started. Everybody come over here on the... Get started. Thank you. Don't be shy. Don't.
Hey, Chuck.
Get your stuff. Hey, Chief, want to come over here? Good morning, everybody. Everybody can hear me? If you can, raise your hand. Woo! All right, did the wave. Great job. Again, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeff Alexi. I'm the Robotics Program Manager for San Bernardino County Fire Protection District. Thanks to the Fire Chief, we're able to put this together. I'll do a little housekeeping real quick. Please understand, it's a working fire camp. Normally 60 down here, but they are in Washington trying to save homes and stuff like that. So please treat this as your own home, because this is our second home. Restrooms. We are doing some renovations here. So unfortunately, we're sorry for that, but there is a white trailer that is kind of behind that building. Those are the restrooms. They are individual locked, so no worry, it's not just one whole restroom. Safety is going to be really. There are snakes here, so please do not wander through the brush. Stay on marked pathways and make sure that you're looking down. If there is any type of emergency, and go from there. We do have a paramedic engine company over here, so we have paramedic. If somebody gets hit, but if we have any aerial or ground emergencies, we will address it and then go from there. The drone. Ask you right there. Don't go. That's the no-go zone. A little bit about County Fire real quick. We are a very tech-forward fire department. Number one or number two. Warn said, hey, I need a company. I have a company in Israel that has a pretty cool technology, but I need somebody to work with them. Raised said, let's do this. So I've been working with Moshe since then. So pretty excited. Again, thank you for everybody showing up. Waters that are iced down. We have plenty of shade. Also donuts, coffee, and we will have lunch also coming. With that, I'll introduce Chief McFarland, our Air Operations Chief.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks, Jeff, very much. Just want to thank the partners that are out here today, Ciconia, my friends from Hellestream, Qualcomm, and any other partners that are here. On behalf of Chief Dan Muncie, he couldn't be here today. He's at FRI in Kansas City, I believe, and then onward to Australia for a tech conference. But like Jeff said, the fire chief is super tech forward. He's always looking at cool projects. This is definitely one of them. I got to know the guys at Ciconia in the last couple months working with Jeff, and I think they have a cutting-edge technology that could save lives. So really this technology, and we're looking at it, how do we go ahead and deflect, with the UAS operating in our airspace, but how this technology could work when we have 3 helicopters working in that airspace, even though we have technology like TCAS and ADS being things. The fire department, and he's in it 100%. He's very passionate about it, and thanks for being here today. Thanks for taking your time.
Perfect. Real quick before we get to Moshe, if we can just get one representative from each agency that is here, just real quick, say who you are and what agency you're from, so we can start in the back with Orange County, please. Perfect. LA County.
Good morning, Eric Tamburello, Los Angeles County Fire Department, Air Operations Section Battalion Chief. I'm here with our lead drone,
Cal Fire.
Good morning, Pete York with Cal Fire's Aviation Program, our UAS Emerging Technologies Chief.
LA City.
Morning, Jeff. Rich Thompson, LEC Fire. I'm our U.S. program coordinator.
I think that's all the fire departments, right? No, sorry, Ventura. Sorry, of course, Ventura. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, Sean Reed's here around Ventura County, the UAS program.
Qualcomm.
Hi, Leslie Barnes, City Government Affairs Secretary Qualcomm. Very happy to be here to support Ciconia's collision avoidance system.
Any other police, fire departments, law enforcement, anything like that? Perfect. Elected officials. Whoever wants to start. Awesome.
Love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brian Milligan. I'm with Congressman Norman Torres' office, and it's an honor to be here with y'all. Thanks for having us. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew Garcia. I'm from Congressman King's office.
Anybody else? Elected officials?
We have one gentleman. I think he stepped out. Senator Adam Schiff is here as well.
Any other? Anybody else that's here besides elected officials, fire departments, police departments that wants to introduce yourself real quick?
Hey, Jay McGurdio, Interior, U.S. Wildlife Fire Service.
You're at the fire department. Come on now. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for that. Turn it over to Moshi. There you go, sir. It's all you.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Jeff is already 1 week working, sweating days and nights to make this happen. So I suggested that we will start. Can you hear me? Good.
Outside voice.
Yeah. Okay. Jeff instructs me to shout very strong, so everybody will be able to hear. Now I think that we need the pilots to go to the aircraft. And still louder? Is this okay? Good. Okay. So maybe we'll just. Okay. I will start telling you what you are going to see, what the system is all about. Then the helicopters will take off. We will see how the system works on 2 helicopters, how the CICAS allows 2 helicopters to, just a second, to operate freely in the sky, doing whatever they need, not interfering with the pilot's operation. However, whenever there is a risk, the CICAS will identify that there is a risk and will tell the pilot what to see, and hopefully you will be able to see exactly what they do, what they see, and understand. And next, after this demonstration, we expect you to be experts in helicopters collision avoidance. After the first part is done, then we'll have a few speakers speaking, and I will instruct and will introduce the second part, where a helicopter and a drone will share the skies safely, flying close to each other, but absolutely safe. So there are a lot of safety mechanisms here to make sure that all this demo runs safely. I want to thank all our partners. They are all on the invitations. Qualcomm, Helistream, already gone. We have SedgeTech. We are working for several years already, and it is a great cooperation. Drone responders. Roy, where are you? Ah, he's gone. Okay, Roy from Pandora AI, and Mark Battrick from Battrick Consulting. So, what are we talking about? We call our system CICAS, Coordination and Collision Avoidance System. Now, if you don't hear me at the back, then please Raise your hand. So collision avoidance system, coordination and collision avoidance system. Now the pictures that you can watch here were taken in flight test and flight demonstration in Israel, where you could see a drone and a helicopter operating very close to each other and is still very safe. The problem we are trying to solve is that low altitude aircraft separation today depends on procedures and on human judgment. However, sometimes people do not follow the procedures and sometimes people misjudge. To cover for this, then safety buffers are added, and the result is most of the skies are safety buffers. What we are trying to and not only that most of the sky are safety buffers, aircraft collide. This is an example not far from here, Palisade fire, January 25, an air tanker hit a drone. And if you look carefully at this picture, you can see that the main beam of the drone is bented a little bit because of a little drone. This is a wing of the air tanker, not the drone. As a result of this meta collision, all drones were forced to land. So when drones were mostly needed, when the firefighters on the ground need to see whether or not they're being burnt over, they had to land their drones because there is lack of trust in the current situation. And there were other mid-air collisions as well. A few months later in Texas, a rescue operation, a helicopter hit a drone. A month ago in Sardinia, an air tanker, I'm not sure you can you see the aircraft here? On this? It's hard to see because it's smoke. Well, this is the environment where firefighters are flying in. They cannot see. And then they are expected to avoid each other. So the air tanker could not see the helicopter that carried a Bambi bucket, and the aircraft tore the cable, and he almost tore his wing. And this happened a month ago. The solution is a decentralized system. We call it V2V or A2A, aircraft to aircraft, CCAS. The A2A or V2V means that aircraft are sharing the information among themselves. They're using a very light radio, very little amount of data, very short range. It does not consume a significant amount of energy from the drone. It fits very little drone as well. It can be as light as like 15 or 20 grams, and it doesn't consume much energy at all. So with the CCAS, there will be significantly less mid-air collision. Crewed and uncrewed can share the skies, and pilot judgment will be protected from misjudgment, will be protected against human error. That's what we are offering. How does it work? So you can see on the picture there are 2 drones and 2 helicopters, each one equipped with CCAS. Each aircraft transmits his location and his ID, his name. The CCAS on board each and every one of them receives the location of its neighbors. It creates a map of the sky around itself, and it analyzes the level of risk with each of the elements around itself. If there is no risk, it will tell nothing. It will be totally transparent to the pilot. I know the pilots are concerned with loading them with more instruments. The CCAS designed by pilots for pilots. It will not disturb you. It will not, it's like a good team member where it keeps silent all the time. It won't be insulted if you won't look at it until there is high risk. And when there is a high risk, it indicates the risk and it tells you what to do. And I guess when there is a high risk, you would love to hear what the CCAS has to say. So CCAS on board, each and every one of them creates a map of the sky, analyzes the risk, and if there is a risk, it resolves the conflict. In case of a what happened?
We're gonna get you full screen. We're not full screen.
There you go.
Okay, now it's full screen.
Sorry.
Okay, shall I start from the beginning? Okay, now on the right upper corner, there is an aircraft that does not have CCAS, but it has ADS-B. The CCAS receives the ADS-B signal, and a CCAS aircraft, being a helicopter and drone, will not collide with the ADS-B transmitter. However, they will not be able to work closely together because the SICAS on board the drone and the helicopter, knowing that the other one is not aware of its existence, will run away quite early because there is no option for the ADS-B aircraft to avoid the SICAS aircraft. I hope I'm understood. If not, please raise the hand and tell me. So this is in case of a non-SICAS. Okay, Jeff wants me to shout louder. It's quite hard, but I'll try. Okay, now in case of a non-SICAS drone, drones are required, in the US, drones are required to transmit remote ID. So non-SICAS drone transmits its remote ID, and the SICAS receives the remote ID signals, and it will not collide with remote ID aircraft. I'll share with you, there is a short video here, we won't make it all. This video was taken in a demo flight test of the SICAS on board 2 fixed wing, 2 air tractors. Now you can see their SICAS alert, it tells the pilot turn right, and could you see at the 12 o'clock there was another aircraft. So the SICAS identified the risk and he told the pilot what to do. But watch this one. The helicopters are the aircraft, fixed wing, are very close to each other, but the SICAS issues no alert. Because although they are very close, it is safe maneuver. So we are very proud of this one, because this is something that we are the only ones that can make it. As collision avoidance system that can function with such a close aerial or dense aerial traffic. Well, I think this is enough. Let's jump forward. Okay, as of our demonstration, we'll start, as I said, just 1 second. Iran, are they ready?
Yeah,
They're starting? Okay, good. So we are about to demonstrate the SICAS on board 2 helicopters. The helicopters are over there, southbound, and they will make several runs. They will come from south towards us, and we will instruct you and show you where to look at and what to see. So, but anyhow, safety of flight comes first. So I want you to know that all the runs here are confirmed and in the flight envelope of the aircraft and of the pilots. We are not asking them to do anything or to risk in whatsoever. They are in the midst of their flight envelope. And another safety, this is a safety procedure. At least one of the pilot must be in eye contact with the other aircraft at all times. So there will be no time in this demo when the 2 pilots will not be able to see each other. That's how we make sure that they will not risk themselves. And the pilot are responsible for safe separation. So even if the SICAS somehow makes a mistake, the pilot will not follow the SICAS in such a case, but they will follow their own judgment. So that's how we ensure the safety of flight. We'll show you 5 runs of 2 helicopters. Can you see the red and the blue lines? The first run will be orientation, will be for you to see what you see on the screen and what it's like. You will see, I will show you later exactly what you see. The helicopters will fly towards us from there to here, and they will get close to each other until the SICAS will notice that there is a risk. The SICAS will tell them to split, they will split, the conflict will be resolved, they will make it again 2 or 3 times, just to let us get used to the pace and to the symbology, the information that is displayed on the screen. Am I loud enough? Can you hear me? Good. Okay, so this would be the first run. Second run, they will fly. This is a normal flight where 2 helicopters are flying towards the same mission, and the blue will be the front, the red will be the rear one, and suddenly the red one will turn right and will risk the blue one. They will risk great risk of mid-air collision, and then the SICAS will identify and will tell them what to do. It will tell the blue one to keep on flying right, and it will tell the red one to turn left. That's how it will resolve the conflict. This will be the second run. The third run, we will simulate collision, not collision, a firefighting scenario by two helicopters. So to your little bit south of you, there will be, as if there is a deep site where they suck the water from. So one helicopter will approach it, and then he will take off, and we will make a turn, and we'll fly over there to drop, to extinguish the simulated fire. Then the other helicopter will approach the deep and will fly. And the SICAS will be quiet along this firefighting operation. ערן, אילן, just a second. הוא רץ לשים משהו על המסוקים, לא לתת לו. Okay, so what we are doing, so this will be, okay, one helicopter is taking off. Okay, so we are in run 3. Run 3 is normal firefighting operation, and what we want to see here that whenever they fly as they should, although they are close to each other, the the SICAS will remain quiet. Now we are in helicopter run 4. One helicopter will be a low altitude at the deep, and the other helicopter will descend into the deep. This represents, just 1 second, this situation or this scenario is embedded in it a high risk, because the front helicopter, the helicopter that is hovering, cannot see the rear helicopter. Pilots cannot see through their back. The rear helicopter might not be able to see the front one, because helicopter pilot cannot see what happens underneath the legs. So it might happen, and in Israel we had many years ago a collision between two CH-53s where one landed on the other one. Exactly such a scenario. The SICAS will identify and will prevent it from happening. This is the last helicopter to helicopter run. The red helicopter, this is the two helicopters will flying in converging routes, where they should meet somewhere where we are now, if they will continue to fly. The red helicopter will fly in a level flight. The blue helicopter will descend. So they will fly like this. This is also a scenario where it is hard for the helicopter pilot to see each other. The red helicopter, in order to see the blue, needs to look like this, which is not natural way of looking. Firefighters pilots are very busy watching for obstacles, looking for the fire, making sure that they don't hit any tree, and you saw the visual, it might be limited. They are focused, I would say, plus minus 60 degrees. They don't tend to look up there. The blue one needs to look like this. The red one, which is also unnatural. Unfortunately, this type of scenario led to many mid-air collisions in the past, and the toll was very high. So this would be the last. The SICAS would identify, we'll show how the SICAS identifies this scenario, and it would tell the pilots what to do to evade. Okay, מה המצב?
Sorry, the video camera doesn't turn on the system, so we call the...
איזה וידאו? של מי?
שלהם.
לא מעניין אותי.
לא, כלום, לא גופרו, לא כלום.
לא מעניין. לא מעניין, רז, בוא רגע. צריך צריך להגיד לאילן, מישהו לג'ף, שיגיד לוידאו שלא יעיזו לעבור פה באמצע, שילכו מסביב שלו בשקט, שגם לא יעיזו לרוץ. Okay, so ערן, מה המצב? אפשר להעביר את התמונה? Okay, now we will see, we'll switch to the video that is transmitted via the system. The CCAS boxes that now operate on board the aircraft are those prototypes or boxes that were produced by, was produced by SEJDEC in the mutual project that we had. So what the helicopter took off, you can see the helicopters over there. We'll let Ilan fix. Okay, so please pay attention to here for a moment, and then you can decide where to look at. The helicopters are over there. Okay, the helicopters are over there. What you can see here, you can see two helicopters. You can see blue and red. And this is the level of alert. We divide the risk level, we call it level of alert. LOA 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. LOA 0 means there is no risk. LOA 4, high risk. So now they are in LOA 2. It's low risk. Each of the system, this is the helicopter 1. It's is it the blue or the red? Red is number 1 or 2?
Red is 1 or 2.
Okay, so this is red. This is a red helicopter. Okay, this is the red helicopter level of alert, and this is the blue one. And you can see where they are on the map. Now they are approaching us.
Red is 1. Red is 1.
Red is 1. Okay. Now the helicopters, you can see them, helicopters over there. They are flying towards us. Level of alert is 2. I suggest that you LOA 4, high risk. It tells them that they need to break out. But
in and out LOA 4.
yeah, so it was real quick. LOA 4, they saw the symbology. It tells them to break out. They break out, and it got back. Once again, LOA 4. It goes real quick. It's once they get the LOA 4, they see the symbology, it tells them turn right, they turn right, and the conflict is resolved. It goes real quick. שיעשו עוד פעם, ערן. LOA 4, LOA 4, whoops.
Just walk that way. Just walk that way when you talk.
Okay, once again. Okay, so we finished with this run. Now they will go and we will start the second run. What you can see, the reason we display this is to convince you that we are not telling you stories, but this is real-time, represent what happened inside the cockpit. The pilots fly, they see and they hear. And the system tells them, turn right and climb. It means that the pilot just provides an input, tilt his helicopter a little bit to the right, the other one make it a little bit to the left, and the conflict is easily resolved. Now what we'll see. is that they will fly. You can look at these two helicopters flying, and they will the helicopter that is farther to the west will turn right, will turn east into the rear helicopter. You will be able to see on the map and to see that the steering command that they see, and you can watch out and see the pilots follow. Can you still hear me? Good. So the pilots, the Helistream pilots are Andreas, he is the chief pilot of Helistream, and Rod is CEO of the Helistream. With them flying our pilots, Gil Yanai is a co-founder and VP for business development, very experienced experimental test pilot, and he is flying with Rod, and Eran Nir, also very experienced pilot, flies with Andreas. They both, by the way, were captains for El Al Airlines. They were captains for Boeing 787, Eran and Gil. They're flying towards us now. You can see on the map. And it is LOA 2. Over there are the helicopters. You can decide what you want to see. LOA 4, turn left, turn right, and conflict resolved. I'm sorry it happens so fast, but this is the pace things happen. Once they get the alert, small input and a big accident is prevented. But when the input is given on the time, then a small input easily resolve this conflict. It's nothing dramatically, just turn a little bit, cyclic input, and the conflict is gone. Okay, next one. Now we were hesitating whether to tell them to remain, to stay in LOA 4, but we decided not to, just to give you more time to see what is happening. But we wanted to keep it as realistic as it is. So now the first helicopter approaches. Now they are going to conduct simulated aerial firefighting. So the first helicopter is approaching the dip. The other helicopter is waiting. Okay, now he's taking off and he will make a right turn. Helistream has, I think, own over 20 helicopters. Some of their helicopters are, in fact, firefighters. They have a Blackhawk and I think several Bell that are firefighters, and they are stationed wherever in the country, stand by for fighting fires. And Andreas, the chief pilot, is also experienced in firefighting operation. Now the second second helicopter approaches the dip. They are not too far from each other, but it is the SICAS identifies that this is a risk and riskless. This is a safe maneuver, so it will not issue any alert. You can see the helicopters on the map. Oops. Okay. מה אתה אומר? נכנס עכשיו ליעף הבא? Okay, now we'll start. The first helicopter returned, dropped his load, he dropped his fire deterrent, and now he is approaching the dip once again. השני מגיע? השני מתקרב? מה? Okay, now the other helicopter approaches the dip, and this is, as I mentioned, simulates a very bad mid-air collision that happened for the Israeli aircraft when one helicopter was landed where the other one was below him. Now you may look at the screen or look outside. The other approaches, this is a steep approach, and it makes it challenging for the rear helicopter to see the front one. Iran, מה קרה? Okay, now number 5. Well, I don't know what about you, but I didn't have enough time. I didn't see the LOA 4 that was here, but okay. Okay, so we can, before landing, we can repeat this one. Good, okay. So now we are going to next run, where they will fly in converging routes. The two helicopters will fly. And this is once again a scenario where it is quite challenging for the pilots to see each other.
The last one there was an LOA-4. As he came in,
yeah,
it flashed up, but then he followed it quick and it went away.
So I did see, yeah. While the helicopters are flying there, I'll tell you why did we start all this advantage. We started the company, few pilots. We started it working with Ilan, our CTO. Ilan, okay, you will be here shortly. The reason we started it, we were told by the Israeli parallel of DARPA and the Israeli Air Force that they could not develop collision avoidance system for helicopters. The reason they couldn't make it is because everything they tried suffered with a high rate of false alarms, and they reached the conclusion that it is undoable. It is impossible to develop collision avoidance system for low altitude helicopters because the rate of false alarm. That's how we started this adventure, and we created the systems, and we delivered to the Air Force Flight Test Center. They tested two systems on board two Black Hawk, and the results were fantastic. I mean, we were all surprised how good it worked. Okay, so the helicopters are approaching us. You can see both helicopters are flying quite close to each other in converging routes. Okay, they are.
They didn't get close enough for an LA.
Yeah, I guess they didn't get close enough. Yeah, they were not close enough. The maneuver was safe, so the Ciconia did not issue any steering commands. The challenge with the flight demonstration of the Ciconia is the Ciconia works as it should, but if the pilots are not extremely accurate, then we may not get the desired results, the desired effect that we want to show you. But the Ciconia worked as it should. So, as of I told you that just mentioned the Ciconia was tested on board two Black Hawk helicopters by the Israeli Air Force Flight Test Center. They challenged the system, and it worked fantastic. I mean, no false alarms, identified all the risky situation, and the Ciconia produced good steering commands for both helicopters to escape the collision. Then we realized that drones started entering the skies, and the challenge of we were interested in the challenge of incorporating unmanned and manned together. From the Ciconia perspective, unmanned is preferred because automatic pilot always does what he's told. There is no misjudgment. So we started working, and we delivered systems for the Israeli Air Force Flight Test Center that tested the Ciconia on board a helicopter and a drone. They were flying close to each other, we were flying together, very safe, and whenever there was a risk of mid-air collision, the Ciconia resolved it, and we will show you at the later part of this demonstration.
They're starting run 5 again.
Okay, they are starting. Now they are approaching us. Hopefully now they will fly close enough so we'll be able to see.
They're converging. If the blue aircraft catches up a little bit, it should get nowhere. There it is.
Okay, LOA 4, turn left, turn right, conflict resolved. Tom, shall we repeat the landing one? Or what do you say?
Yeah, as long as, and then we could point it, and what I could do, I could stare at that, and I can tell you when we're seeing alerts, and you can announce it. So, yeah.
Okay, let's repeat this one. The last one, yeah.
Well, the last one's dead.
Not the last one. Repeat the, yeah, dip.
Yeah. Number 4, yeah.
Okay.
And if you want, you can talk. I will tell you when alerts show
Good.
up.
Great.
I can read. I've practiced.
Good. Good.
We were kind enough to put it in English.
Okay, this is going to be the last run of 2 helicopters.
You might want to recommend that they watch the helicopters, and then we will tell them when there's an LOA 4 so they can see it, but they can see how close they're allowed to get.
Okay, well, this is Thomas' idea. Please, you may look at the helicopters. We will tell you when it is LOA 4, then you can give a real quick look at the screen and see how close the helicopters are, and then you can look back at the helicopter and see how they evade the evading maneuver. So for this, okay, now the first helicopter approaches the dip.
just keep saying not yet, not yet, not yet, now.
No,
So
now you can tell me now it's good. It's good. Okay. First helicopter approaches. Yeah, okay. So the first helicopter approaches, and now he's hover low altitude, taking water from the deep, and the other helicopter will soon approach in a steep approach. In a steep approach, the pilot cannot see the landing zone. So he needs to take some signs, but pilots, you need to realize, believe me, pilots do not see where they are going to land. This is why the risk in this scenario where the pilot might not be able to see that there is someone on the deep. Now they usually tell each other when the deep is free, but after several hours of flying in this hot and challenging environment, oops. Okay, now it is LOA 4 steering commands, and the rear helicopter turned left, conflict is resolved. Good. Okay, now the helicopters are on the way to land, and we will switch to the second part. Ken?
I'll ask for questions right now on this. Let me see if anybody has questions on this, or
Yes.
All right, so what we can do, everybody wants to come back. The helicopters are going to land. We're going to put some other equipment on there for the drone demonstration. Does anybody have any questions? If you do, please stand up and let them know who you are and what your question is, please.
Okay, okay, Leslie. Okay, huh?
Okay.
Want to wait just a few seconds till we land it?
Yes, okay. Okay, I will ask Jeff to gather everybody.
Oh, you press the button.
No, unless you press it.
Okay.
Then what will we say, and I will explain the next thing.
All right, if we can get everybody back here, there's going to be another presentation for the drone side of things. So if we can get everybody back underneath the shade in the area so you can listen and see the demonstration. Thank you. Is that good?
Yes. Okay.
Start talking.
Okay. So now we concluded the first part where we demonstrated 2 helicopters equipped with CCAS. I hope we convinced you that the CCAS is very efficient. It doesn't issue alerts when it does not need to, and when it is needed, it issues alerts right on time. And when the alert comes on time, very small input, and the conflict is resolved, and the major collision is avoided. Now I'd like to call Leslie from Qualcomm. Please say a few words on behalf of Qualcomm. Explain what is your Qualcomm interest, and that's it.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? Oh, great. Well, first off, I want to thank Jeff Alexi, Chief Dan Muncie, and all the other leaders in the San Bernardino Fire Protection District for hosting us today and for their willingness to test an emerging technology that can help protect pilots, firefighters, and the communities they serve. I also want to thank Ciconia and our other project partners for making this demonstration a reality today. So we're here today because we are trying to address a very practical challenge. During wildfires, crewed aircraft and drones need to coexist in the same shared airspace to improve firefighting operations. This is where Ciconia's collision avoidance system comes in, and we support this system by providing a direct communications link that the system utilizes, enabling nearby aircraft to exchange in real time safety critical information such as location, altitude, speed, trajectory, etc. This communications link is completely off network, so it doesn't require a connection to the cellular network or satellite connection to provide that real-time collision avoidance detection and avoidance. The great thing about this technology is that we are developing it through Ciconia and our partners with San Bernardino to make sure it meets the needs of public safety. And this is what our Technology for Good program is all about. Testing real-world technologies with public safety professionals who both know the mission and are deeply committed to the mission. And we are so excited to be here and to be a part of this demonstration and the potential it holds for improving public safety communications. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie, and I want to thank Leslie, Drew, and Hiram for their support. Qualcomm supports this demo, and they also provide the links that we will shortly use for the drone and helicopter demonstration. We will be also able to see the data traffic on the screen to my right. So thank you. Yes.
Hi, sorry, I grabbed the mic because it was here.
Okay.
Do I need to press it?
Yes, yeah.
Hi, I grabbed the mic because it was here, and that's what I do. Tom Fury from Sage Tech. So we're making the hardware that's being demonstrated right now. We've been partnered with Ciconia for about 4 or 5 years now. What we do for a living is we make transponders, IFF, and collision avoidance systems. And we recognize that most of the situations you just saw would have given a ton of nuisance alerts from TCAS, ACAS. It would have caused the air crew to turn the device off. But we still needed to provide something to enable more aircraft putting more water and more retardant on fire. We need to have multiple manned aircraft working in the same area. We need to have manned aircraft and unmanned aircraft working in the same area at the same time. We can do that with CCAS. So because CCAS relies on a close coordination vehicle-to-vehicle link, doesn't rely on ADS-B with excess latency, it doesn't rely on UTM, you can have aircraft fly in much more tactical formations. You can have more aircraft operate in the same airspace and still not swap paint and keep firefighters' lives safe. So that's why we're excited to be demonstrating. We appreciate all your attention. And as a traditional small avionics manufacturer, we're super excited about what this technology brings to enable us to do more with aviation resources in firefighting and in other areas where close cooperation and coordination between air assets is required. So thanks for everyone's attention today. I appreciate the few minutes on the mic.
Thank you, Tom. Tom was also a great aviator, and he was among these guys that flew aircraft and landed the Dark Knight on a little carrier. Thank you. Dan, please. Dan was a firefighter on the ground, just like many of you, and later on he switched to aerial firefighting. So Dan will give us a few words about the perspective of the ATGS, the one that does the impossible job of coordinating aerial firefighting from the air.
Thank you for that, Moshe. Can everybody hear me? All right, Tom, it's a little terrifying as an air tactical group supervisor coordinating aircraft that you're going to put more aircraft in my airspace than what I'm used to actually having to try and coordinate and juggle. But the safety factor is amazing. A quick story real quick. I was born and raised on big cattle ranches, and there was one way to do it, and it was always the right way, especially when you were in a branding trap and you were wrestling big calves. And if you didn't do that the right way, you could get yourself hurt or somebody else hurt, and so you could get a boot real quick if you weren't doing it the right way. So I was raised, of course, on some of the biggest in the world, and I did it the right way. So I'm in California as a young kid, and I'm doing it the right way, and I'm wrestling this calf that is just kicking my tail. And this old timer walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, do you mind if I show you something?" And I said, "Sure," and I'm thinking, oh, this guy's going to show me something. And he did, and it was like, oh my gosh, for 20 years I've been killing myself trying to wrestle a calf, and this guy showed me how to do it with one hand, easy peasy, not getting anybody hurt or myself hurt. And so it wasn't that he was, going to prove me wrong or showing me. He just showed me a different perspective that I hadn't seen. And that has stuck with me through my career in showing people, the different technologies that I've come across and doing things with a different perspective. So from that, I did start as an air tactical group supervisor. Anybody here remember 1977, what was significant down here in the LA Basin? Any ideas? 1977, we had two night flying helicopters, U.S. Forest Service and LA County. They collided, had a midair over the airport, and that ended the night flying program for many years. It took a long time for that program to come back. So fast forward, in my last 30 years of my career, I've been around and a part of with colleagues that have been involved in midairs, 3 specifically in the fire world. First, when I was a helitac captain, we had 2 S2s that collided on the bus incident, and that bus incident then instigated the fire traffic area that we work by. So we've heard policy and the way we operate, and so that was born out of 2 pilots losing their lives and the loss of 2 aircraft. Fast forward, we're all familiar, a couple of years ago, we had another second midair down here in the LA area, where, once again, many of us lost colleagues and friends, and that ripples the community. So I'm speaking in Australia 2 weeks ago. I'm hanging out with John McDermott. We met when I had Global Supertanker. We worked together. He's an ardent supporter of using technology to its benefit, i.e. Blaze Tamer. So we had deep conversations, and I got home and I opened up my social media, and there I'm witnessing an atrocious, violent midair that's caught on film. When you're a part of that, and when you have colleagues that you lose, it's brutal. So where do we go? Let's look at medicine. I'm a trauma nurse by trade before I got in the fire service. Medicine advances have come light years in the last 20 years. In the last 20 years with medicine, We're doing things like using our own body chemistry to fight cancer. We're now able to do transplantation with different species, interspecies related, where we take a kidney from an animal and now we're able to put it into humans. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I do know that those transplants and those technologies and the geno splitting technologies that we're using to address issues versus treat issues have come light years. So I ask you, if you have a family member, yourself, your child, your spouse, your aunt, your uncle, your parents, your grandparents, if you take them to the hospital, do you want somebody taking care of them that's operating with technology that's 40 years old and they haven't advanced their technology? Or are you going to want somebody that's got the latest and greatest and they've practiced and proven what they're going to do? And my guess is that most of us would choose the latest and greatest. In the fire service, we're slow to react. TCAS has started in the 1980s, and it wasn't until the 1990s where passenger aircraft with 30 passengers or 33,000 pounds were mandated to use it in the U.S. So we fast forward, we're 30 years, in my 30-year career, 3 mid-airs with friends and colleagues. And then we go back to 1977, where that's the first one that I was aware of that happened. So where do we go? Technology is difficult to grow. Somebody has to have a beachhead somewhere, and until we grow that technology, Ciconia is not going to come out with it's not going to be perfect out the gate. It just won't, because technology grows, just as medicine grows and technology grows. So we can choose to ignore that technology, or we can choose to embrace it, and if it doesn't fit, then how do we make it fit, or how can we make it fit, or what can be communicated to the innovators that are innovating technologies to help us be more effective and efficient? So that's what I would leave you with as an air tactical group supervisor, as someone who's in the private sector on innovation. I can tell you it's not easy, and there are many, many hurdles, and there's a reason for some of those hurdles. But without active communication between the innovators and the agencies that are using it, if there's no desire, then there's a problem. So I guess my challenge and my question for you all, as I try and steer Ciconia to my colleagues, I retired in end of 2015. Where do we go from here? Is it something that we pick up? Is it something that we try? Is it something that we grow? I would say, unless we want to keep losing colleagues, the answer is yes. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for your support. We appreciate it. It means a lot for us, your support and your knowledge. We were talking with Dan a few months ago, or maybe, I don't know, interviewing Dan on aerial firefighting, traffic, and he lives it, actually lives it. It described us so nicely how it goes, as if he's sitting in the aircraft coordinating several aircraft that are getting in and out of the fire. Thank you. מה המצב, ערן? הם עובדים? Okay, Rio, please, we have 1 minute. I'm very, so you need you.
I'll try to be quick.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Rio. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Ponderosa AI. We develop the drones. Our long-term vision is to develop cost-effective autonomous suppression drone swarms that can be pre-positioned in areas of risk so that we can reach fires within 5 minutes and help control them until traditional resources can arrive. Our belief is that in order to build autonomous systems, you have to follow the I do, we do, you do framework. So think of autonomous cars. People drove the cars, then people and computers drove the cars, and now we have computers mostly driving the cars. And so we're following a similar path. We believe that when it comes to using drones for suppression, it's a whole new field. We want to see human firefighters do it first, then we'll learn from that, and then we'll figure out how to automate it. So to support that, we built this heavy lift drone. It's capable of carrying about 10 gallons of suppressant. It's also capable of multi-lift or heavy lift capabilities. One of the big challenges, of course, is how do we safely operate drones and manned aircraft over the fireground, right? That's one of the problems that we need to solve, and that's where Ciconia comes in. So I'm really grateful to be a part of this demonstration. Thank you so much, Ciconia and San Bernardino County Fire, for having us. And one note to Dan's point, we're still very early. This is still a prototype aircraft. It did well in the rehearsals, but just want to let y'all know that you're seeing development in the very early stages. So really excited for you to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rio. Thank you. Rio is working with us for months already, and last week, days and night to make it happen. So, okay, now we will switch real quick to the helicopter and drone. You can, while we are waiting for the, are you ready?
Everybody's ready. You want us to start?
So just 1 second, okay. Okay, so now we will start the, within a few minutes, the drone will take off and the helicopter will take off. As we mentioned, safety of flight come first. The drone will be limited, is limited in a virtual fence, so it cannot exit this fence. It cannot risk the helicopter. We tested the virtual fence to make sure that the drone cannot penetrate it. The helicopter pilot knows the exact location of this fence, and the helicopter will not penetrate the fence. And we have ground observer that watches both the helicopter and the drone to make sure that there is a safe separation. All these are safety precautions. And there is a live communication between us all. So we are I'll put my eyes on. So we are right here located. The virtual fence is over here. The helicopter will fly towards us, and the drone will be at the virtual fence. At the first round, the helicopter will fly here. The helicopter will be quite close to us, and Jeff would try to start the drone and take it off, but the SICAS would not let him. And this is a real scenario that may happen because firefighters are operating in very noisy, very harsh environment. They may not see an air tanker that is approaching. And in this case, the SICAS will prevent the drone from taking off and risking the air tanker. So this is round one. Round two, the helicopter will fly. The drone will hover here, representing a drone that is serving firefighter, and the helicopter will fly right here. The helicopter will receive indication that there is a drone at 12 o'clock, and the helicopter pilot will decide to move his helicopter a little bit right and continue his mission, and both can make their missions uninterrupted. The helicopter and the drone can fly together in the same airspace, serving firefighters absolutely safely. No need to land one of them or to prevent one of them to access the skies. Now the third run, the helicopter will fly, but this time the helicopter pilot will ignore the indication of the drone. He will keep on flying straight. This time the SICAS will introduce steering commands to the drone operator. The drone operator, Jeff, will ignore these steering commands, and the level of risk will go high, and the SICAS will steer the drone and will clear the way for the helicopter. This is the third run.
So Moshe, you're saying that if Jeff doesn't move the drone,
Exactly, yeah. If Jeff ignores, he doesn't notice that there is an aircraft there, and he ignores the recommendation of the CICAS will take the drone by the ear and it will force it to move. And the way will be cleared for the helicopter. Now, since the helicopter and drone are operating close, there might be cases where the helicopter or the drone, somebody can make an abrupt maneuver, and we want to show you that even in such a case, the CICAS can safely resolve the mid-air conflict. So, after the drone, the CICAS moves the drone is hovering, will be hovering here, over there, and the helicopter will come this way. So the helicopter will take off and will speed up to this direction, and then it will make a sudden turn 270 degrees and it will fly into the drone, direct into the drone. It is totally unexpected maneuver, but something that can be done, and we will show you how the CICAS resolve. Now in this case, the CICAS will not have enough time to move the drone, so the level of risk will go up to LOA 4, where the CICAS introduces steering command to the helicopter pilot, and the helicopter pilot will provide this steering input and conflict will be avoided. So, Eran, I think that we are ready. הוא עכשיו ממריא?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for this, while everybody stand up and like go over here so they can see it move the drone and stuff, because there's not as much information here.
Okay, now what you will be able to see, I suggest that you take the southern part of the shade and you can look southbound, watch the drone, and you can see how the drone being moved by the CICAS. On the big screen there will be displayed, we call it the engineering display. This is a display that Eran, our flight test manager, he runs the flight test or flight demo using this screen. So all this information will be displayed here, but I suggest that you concentrate on the drone. This is an interesting thing to see that how the drone is being moved.
רואים את זה לא טוב, רס. תזיז את זה שמאלה. רס, תזיז את זה שמאלה.
When you're done with this, are you going to invite the fire agencies into the classroom so that they can ask you very direct questions together as a group?
We need to talk with Jeff. Yeah, it's a good idea.
I would recommend that.
So, okay, we'll ask Jeff to make it. זה רואים? Okay, just please turn here for a second where you are. Here you can see, Sean, you can see, please point to the data traffic. This is the data traffic. It just track the data traffic on the Qualcomm radios that is being used now. So the helicopter, the drone, and ground station, they all use the Qualcomm link to transmit the data. The data is mainly the location of the aircraft, of both the drone and the helicopter, and the steering command that the CICAS issues to both helicopter and drone. Frozen.
Maybe out of range. Always wait for really far away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. מה זה?
לא רואים את הרזולוציה. טוב, לא, עכשיו זה בסדר. עכשיו זה בסדר, רז, עכשיו זה באמצע. מה שקורה כנראה בגלל שזה עלה לא באמצע.
ערן, רגע, אילן, רק בלי לדבר בשקט שלא ישמעו אותך. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, now we start the first run, helicopter and drone. The helicopter will fly here. This is, let me remind you, the helicopter is flying, the drone is on the ground. There is a lot of noise here, fire, it's very hot, a lot of smoke, and many trees. Jeff cannot see the helicopter, he cannot hear the helicopter, and his boss is telling him, I want you to take up the drone. So he will try, when the helicopter will reach you, he will try to start the drone, and he won't be able. And if you want to see, here you can see the information. The level of alert is LOA2. Now Jeff, this is LOA2, level of alert 2. LOA3, now Jeff tries to start the, Jeff, take it off. Jeff, you need to take off the drone. Well, he can't. The Ciconia won't let him. The Ciconia won't let him. And this is a realistic scenario in aerial firefighting. And one of the reasons that drones are not allowed in the sky in the presence of crude is because of such a scenario. I can tell you a case that was in Israel where firefighters used drones and helicopters were coming, and one of the commanders of the firefighters told his drone operator to take off. The drone operator did not want to because he said there is a helicopter there. His commander told him, I want you to start. בסדר, הבנתי. So the end of the story that happened back in Israel was that the drone risked the helicopter because they didn't, this case they were aware but they did not follow the procedures. With the Ciconia, the Ciconia would not allow such an incident. Okay, now we have this drone serves firefighters. It monitors the fire, whatever, monitors something, and the helicopter is called by to drop water deterrent or to bring some equipment that otherwise the firefighters can't get. So the helicopter is flying towards the drone. The level of alert is 0 because the helicopter is still far away. Okay, now it is LOA1. The helicopter pilot receives now on his screen, he can see the relative location of the drone. You can see the helicopter. And the helicopter moved a little bit to the right, and now they are both flying together. Okay. Now they are communicating, the helicopter, the drone and the ground station, they are communicating using the Qualcomm's link. And as mentioned, you can see the data flow on the screen on my right hand. Now you can see helicopter, drone flying quite close to each other, and this is absolutely safe. No risk whatsoever. So why preventing the firefighters to enjoy the drone service? Okay, helicopter is taking off. Now the helicopter will approach us, and the helicopter will not move. Will keep on flying towards us. תגיד, מה נעשה עם כל השקיות לעזאזל?
יש לך פה כמה? 30 איש?
צריך להכריח אותם שיקחו. כל מי שיוצא בלי שקית אנחנו זורקים לו אבן על הראש.
יש לך פה, נתתי לעבוד על זה.
thank you.
למה אתה לא מבקש?
תעזור לי לפתוח. הנה אני מבקש. בעודך נוזף בי. Okay, the helicopter is approaching us. If you'd like, you can see here. This is LOA 1. Now LOA 2. The CICAS tells Jeff to move his drone. It tells him go northwest 100 meters, but Jeff somehow refuses to follow the instruction. Now the CICAS moves the drone, and you can see the drone is flown by the CICAS, not by Jeff, and the way is clear. Okay, and now the helicopter was a little bit too close, so the helicopter pilot received also steering command to move to the right. Okay, so now we'll go.
Do it again and go to the number 4.
חבל. אוקיי. אני חושב, חבל סתם לעייף את האנשים. אבל יהיה לו פה אלוהי 4, לא? ערן, יהיה לו כאן עוד פעם אלוהי 4? יהיה. Okay, the helicopter now approaches the area to our left. He will hover, and then he will take off to the north and make 270 degrees to the right. This is LOA 2 now. LOA 3. ערן, מה זה? קאפי אוף ערן? ערן? מה? אז למה הוא לא זז? הוא זז. אוקיי. אוקיי, now. מה אתה אומר, ערן? Okay, the helicopter now is after the track. He speeds up and he will fly straight into the drone. LOA 1 and immediately jumped to LOA 3 and LOA 4. LOA 4, the helicopter avoided the drone. Now, even in such a close encounter, the CICAS quite easily identified on time and resolved the conflict. Okay, ערן, הוא ניגש לנחיתה? Yes. Okay, now the helicopter approaches the landing spot, and if I may have your attention for a few more seconds, please turn here. Okay, we concluded this demonstration. חול קצת. Okay, please, may I have your attention, please, for a few more minutes? Just, we have another half an hour presentation or so. I would like I would like to thank Rod, CEO of Hellstream, for their great effort. Rod, few words about Hellstream? Okay. You need to hold the mic real close and shout very strong.
Okay.
Push the button.
Okay, well, good morning. Thank you, Moshe.
It's already noon? Almost.
Almost noon. Not quite. Still morning. So good morning. I'm Rod Anderson with Hellstream.
Close and strong. Shout.
Close and strong. Okay. And shout. Okay. This is the best I can do. So this is some pretty amazing technology. You know, we've been our company's been flying helicopters for 44 years. I started flying helicopters in the Army coming up on 100 years ago, I think, sometimes. But and so, you know, there's been quite a evolution that goes along with all of this stuff. We started our company primarily as a flight school and lots of flight training activities. And in teaching students all these many years, and we're still doing most of it the same way, the concept of visual separation. You know, in the beginning, I always subscribed to the concept of big sky, small bullet. So.
Just 1 second, the car will move.
Sorry, it's a working site, so we have little things going on every so often. Okay, you're good now. Now they can probably hear you.
Okay. So back to, you know, visual separation, and still that's a very, very important part of it even today. But you know, visual separation has some limitations and some weaknesses. As a flight instructor, I fly with students quite often. Even with experienced pilots, we do a lot of training with law enforcement agencies, other public service agencies, and we get in with pilots, and the exchange between air traffic control and the pilots quite often is misinterpreted. The controller will tell a pilot, I've seen this happen in the cockpit, you have traffic at 2 o'clock, opposite direction, same altitude. And I see that, I look over at the pilot and he's looking in this direction, which of course is 10 o'clock. So he's not going to see the traffic. He's looking at the wrong place. The other thing that happens often is they think they see the right one, but they're not looking at the right one. They're looking at a different one. So when they respond to air traffic control, we have the traffic in sight. Air traffic control passes the responsibility to the pilot to maintain visual separation. That's, again, that concept always is important there, but it doesn't always work. I'm sure everybody knows about the tragic accident that happened in Washington, D.C. With a helicopter and an airliner. And it's my opinion that the helicopter pilot was looking at the wrong guy. The controller that he was talking to pointed out his traffic, and he said he had the traffic in sight, and then he ran into the airliner. So clearly he didn't have it in sight. There's some real limitations sometimes that goes along with visual separation. Our own company, Hellstream, it's coming up on 4 years ago. We were involved in a mid-air collision in San Diego. One of our Black Hawk helicopters, and we had a collision with a Navy Seahawk helicopter. No injuries, no fatalities, no injuries. Thank goodness. But it was an accident that happened in the traffic pattern at a tower-controlled airport. And we teach our students quite often that we let them know, of course, that most mid-air collisions occur at tower-controlled airports. So just because there's a control tower doesn't mean you're safe. The Washington, D.C. accident was at a tower-controlled airport. Our accident was at a tower-controlled airport. And we were there, our helicopter was there on the runway, and the Navy helicopter joined the traffic pattern to come in and land also. The air traffic controller pointed us out to the Navy bird. They acknowledged traffic in sight and maintained visual separation. And then they clearly lost sight of us, and as they turned final, that when it became apparent they were going to land on us, the controller saw the loss of separation, and he told our guys to take off. I need you guys on the go now. Our guys took off and climbed up into the bottom of the Navy bird. Fortunately, they only had gotten up about 150 to 200 feet when they made contact, and they just went right to the infield in San Diego. And again, no injuries. Quite a lot of damage, but no injuries that occurred there. So even when you think you're safe under air traffic control, having a device like the CCAS system is going to be just a whole game changer. Our company progressed over time from doing flight training to utility work, working in the power line environment. Again, down in San Diego, the San Diego Gas and Electric was building a great big transmission line back, I think it started about 2012. And I think they probably had maybe in the vicinity of 15 or 20 operators that were down there. We were all operating in a very small corridor going back and forth through that area, supporting the construction effort. And there were near misses every single day. Again, the concept of see and avoid, it doesn't always work, because as things go, there's more and more traffic congestion. We also continued to grow our company, and we got into aerial firefighting. We perform firefighting services on contract with the Forest Service and also with CAL FIRE. And again, the incidences of close calls in the fire traffic area is just surprising. How can it happen like that when we're all talking to each other? Everybody remembers this tragic accident that happened out in near Beaumont, the Banning Pass. Awful, tragic accident. The CCAS system would have prevented that accident. Most recently, a couple of firefighting helicopters collided in Greece. That is, if you see that video, you will, if you're like me, you'll just have just the most awful reaction. It's just so hard to watch when you see it take place. The CCAS system would have prevented that accident. I'm convinced of it. This is a device that we need. Technology is there, and we need to take advantage of it. So Hellostream is happy to be part of this program. We're happy to come out and lend our helicopters for the aerial demonstration. We appreciate everything that all you guys do. Thank you for your service. You guys are amazing. So we're happy to support all of you guys as well. So I think that's enough from...
Good.
Okay, there you go, Moshe.
Thank you, Rod. It's been a pleasure working with you and with your pilots, your technicians. I tell you, I saw quite a lot of helicopters, quite a lot of technicians, quite a lot of hangars. I never seen something like this. I mean, you could have eaten from the floor. It is so clean and shiny. So, any questions, if somebody has?
So, speak up so everybody can hear you.
Yeah. So, how small and how low, or what cost do you think CCAS can eventually become as a product that they can buy?
Well, as of size, it will be for for helicopters or crewed aircraft. It will be very light. I don't know, 200, 300 grams, very small, like a pocket of cigarette, maybe a little bit more, nothing for a crewed aircraft. As of drones, it might be as software only solution at the end, or a small chip and maybe 20 grams if it is a standalone, 25 grams standalone system. Further, it requires very, very little energy, even for small drones. It will not affect even small drones' energy balance, because the radio transmission, this is a great energy consumer, the greatest, but since we use very short range and very little data, it will not affect the drone energy balance. As of cost, time will tell. It won't cost much. Of course, for the first users, it will not cost much. The cost will not be an issue. Our business model is pay per monthly fee, licensing fee. So nobody is risking any anything. You can try it, use it. If you don't want, stop using, stop paying. Not a big deal, and it would not cost much for the drones operator. Any other questions? Good. So I hope we okay.
What about a completely non-cooperative target, like a rogue drone that has no ID, or an aircraft with no ADSB, for example,
Okay.
or transponder?
So the question was, what about an aircraft that does not transmit anything, maybe a hostile one? So such an aircraft will not be able to detect. The CCAS will use other data sources. So if the helicopter, drone, whatever it is, it has another sensor, we can incorporate this information. All we need to do is accuracy and how old is the data, and we can incorporate it. However, if it is a hostile drone, I mean, the CCAS does a lot, but not everything. It couldn't even make you a coffee, and it will not detect a hostile aircraft or an aircraft that does not transmit anything. Yes, please.
Yeah, so is the system on-prem, or does it have to talk to a server somewhere?
The system, all the collision avoidance, the conflict resolution is done on the platform. It does not need to communicate with any server in real time to provide you the solution. It will provide the solution regardless of cellular communication, satellite communication. Everything can be off, and it will still not collide, because we use direct RF radio, which is old, very reliable technology, like Qualcomm radios. Yes, please.
Is that encrypted then? Is that data encrypted, or how do you handle the security on that?
It is not yet finalized, but what we envision is civilian encryption. We don't think that we need to pay a lot, and we don't want the customers to pay fortune for sophisticated encryption. The civilian off-the-shelf encryption is more than enough for this purpose. Other questions? Well, thank you all very much for making this effort. Once again, Jeff is working here days and nights. I couldn't thank you enough, Jeff. It's been a pleasure, great pleasure. Thank you. One more thing okay, we have here, burrito, when will the burrito come? I don't know.
Not yet. I can speak to that.
Okay. So I also tell them to take the puck.
Yeah, but they're not leaving that.
Okay. One more thing, I want to thank and appreciate the Ciconia team that is here from Thursday, working, resolving last-minute issues. It's such a great, dedicated, highly professional team. I'm so proud of you that I can't describe. Jeff?
All right, again, thanks for showing up, and thanks to all the partners and partnerships that we have. So I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but this is what I'm asking. If I can get a representative from each of the fire departments out here and stand up here and give a legit 100% no, you know what, talk about this, if you don't mind.
So Chief York, do you mind coming up here and just talking about the system real quick? What's your thoughts? Where do you think it can improve? Do you mind? Okay. Okay, can we get somebody from Orange County that would mind coming up here and just giving an honest talk about it real quick? Okay, I know LA County will for sure 100% come up here and say something. All right. All right. And while he's coming up, again, we have burritos. They're en route. So again, please don't leave. Food is coming.
Thank you. I gotta press it. Yeah, so operating in the Los Angeles County airspace is some of the most challenging airspace to try and manage. So I think with the technology, it's gonna help ensure our skies are safer, and that's when it comes to safety. I think building in this redundancy to the TCAS, the see and avoid, hear and avoid, I think it's definitely a valuable product. So from the Los Angeles County side, we'll be exchanging information. I'll be briefing my leadership to this and see what stems from that. So thank you for having us and appreciate it.
You want to talk about the drone side?
Oh yeah, sure.
And just to add in, excuse me, from the UAS side, I mean, I think I see this as a really valuable tool moving forward. And like we've all heard them talk about before, that this technology is very new and you have to start somewhere. If you don't start it, you know, it's never going to grow into the possibilities of what it could be. So when I'm looking at this technology, I see it almost as a check-in when you're getting your radio cloned. If you are on an incident and you're flying a UAS, that you check in base camp and you get one of the modules, right? You get that assigned to your drone so that everyone on the incident is operating under the same platform. And I believe that will, at some point, help everyone stay safe and prevent any accidents from happening.
Perfect. Thank you, LA City. Huh? All right, LA City, come on. No pressure, but thank you.
All my vast experience in air operations. Just want to reiterate what LA County was saying. Obviously, it's a great platform. But there is a great need for it in our services. We're beginning to integrate this newer technology, UAS, along with our traditional air operations. I guess if we're looking for a gap or where we can definitely need improvement, I think the biggest thing is the need is obviously every aircraft needs to have this technology in order to be effective and efficient on emergency incidents. And here in Southern California particularly, we rely heavily on our partnering agencies to combat a lot of our wildland fires. So if the technology is not integrated on every agency, that's going to be the challenge when we're talking about integrating drone technology with crewed assets in the air. So that's one of the biggest challenges. And obviously, going back, LA flight space is very challenging to navigate as well, because we're not only dealing with first responder air assets, you have both the public, other private entities in the air. So navigating that world with the drone, and then I'm not an aviator, I don't fly in the helicopters, but this is only one component of a safety feature that definitely is needed. But you have a lot of rogue drones. You have a lot of other air traffic in that airspace, and I don't know how many other instrumentations and other digital platforms that pilots can monitor as they're navigating their airspace and being aware of both rogue drones, first responder drones, on top of everything else they kind of have to navigate through that airspace. So those are kind of some of the challenges I see moving forward. But I'm encouraged with what you guys are doing, looking forward to where it's going to go, and can't wait to work with you guys in the future.
Thank you, sir. Ventura County. Come on. I'm sorry. Come on. Come on. Give me a break. I remember all that.
But yeah, I'm excited to see where this system goes and the safety that it can bring to the fire service.
Yeah. I see you sitting there, Max. Would you like to come say something? Come on.
I'm gonna wait for the other two to come back.
Okay. All right. Again, thank you so much. You know, we want the honest feedback. Lunch is en route, so please don't leave. There's still plenty of water. Mingle, talk, ask questions. If you have anything else that you need, let us know. But thank you so much.